Yes, I'm the proud father of Hunter. And our journey started 2.5 years ago. I was woken up by my mobile phone ringing in a darkened hotel room in Miami. Thinking I'd left my phone on Sydney time, I bumped the call, only to be woken up 10 minutes later by the hotel phone ringing this time. I decided to pick it up. It was my father. He said, "Son, call your wife. It's about Hunter." Feeling worried, I picked up the phone and dialed my wife's mobile number. After a few rings, she picked it up. I could tell by her voice something was terribly wrong. The 3 words she said next hit me like a Mack truck. She said, "Hunter's got leukemia." All I could hear myself saying was, "What does that mean? What does that mean?" Suddenly my objectives became very clear. I just had to get back there. I had to be by his side. Of course, I had 30 hours worth of plane ride to contend with. So I busied myself watching movies, reading articles, trying to read books, but my mind kept flashing back to this happy, fun-filled, joyous young boy that I was playing with at the beach not long before my departure. How could this happen to him? Why would this happen to him? Is it my fault? When I finally saw Hunter, and I arrived at the Sydney Children's Hospital, he was lying in bed, he was plugged into many a machine, he was ashen, he was upset, there were a team of people standing around him, and he looked really bad. What's worse is his once beautiful smile had been wrecked by Bell's palsy brought on by leukemia, which had paralysed half his face. I didn't know what I was looking at. Hunter went on to be diagnosed with very high risk ALL leukemia, and as a father I can tell you, I didn't know what to do, I was not in control, I couldn't fix it. What followed were 18 months of intensive treatment, which included, and here are the stats, well over 100 blood transfusions. At some point he was having platelet transfusions twice a day, 60 general anaesthetics, over 30 CT scans, 10 doses of cranial radiation, not to mention the litre after litre of cytotoxic drugs that were being circulated through his bone marrow every day. The side effects soon started to mount. We were told early on in the piece that infertility was pretty much a standard outcome. So we had to mourn that, we had to accept that, and we had to just move on. We were told his IQ would drop 10 points, that he would suffer hearing loss, which he did. And in a final twist, when he was moving to maintenance, he developed a disease called osteonecrosis, which is basically known as bone death in his lower limbs, which was a side effect of the steroids being used. Again, another twist to the story, and something we had to deal with and keep focused on the bigger picture, keeping our son alive. Of course, the impact on the family is something to be reckoned with as well, and test the very strongest of relationships. My wife and I, on many, many occasions, in the dead of night, were swapping kids along the Wakehurst Parkway, one heading to the hospital, one heading to home, moving kids from one car to another so we could do our next shift for maybe a week, maybe more at the hospital. My eldest son, Tyson, 10 years old at the time, started to feel jealous and angry that Hunter was getting all this special treatment. And then, of course, he started to feel guilty that he felt jealous and angry. He was conflicted. He didn't know what to think. We're still dealing with that today. My youngest son, Cormac, who was 3 at the time, not really knowing any better, started writing out a list of toys that he wanted when he went bald and went to hospital. But despite the hardships, I've got to tell you, I feel truly blessed. We really are one of the lucky ones. Hunter's currently in remission. And every month we check to make sure that's still the case. It's very hard on my wife, very hard on the family, and we're waiting for that magic 5-year mark after diagnosis where they're given an all clear, or at least what we hope is an all clear. We're thankful for every day, and we're all too aware that many families, some of which we know very, very well, aren't so lucky, aren't as lucky as us. But the best thing of all, I think, the biggest reason for us to celebrate is Hunter's smile came back. And it's brighter and it shines more than ever. So tonight is a wonderful opportunity to make a real difference. To help those families yet to be diagnosed, as was mentioned, the kids and the grandkids yet to come who may be afflicted with this terrible disease. We want to help the CCIA continue their groundbreaking research to help fight the side effects and reduce the side effects of cancer and ultimately, one day, hopefully, cure it completely. As fathers, as mothers, as uncles and as aunts, as brothers and as sisters, we owe it to our family to support this cause. Please give generously tonight. Thank you very much.